Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your September soul session. I'm Marlo. If you are new and if you are family, welcome back, my friend, and what's not, or whatever. If you're not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings, in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, my cards are doing weird things, and guidance for the sole purpose of giving you guys clarity to overcome any challenges or understand any lessons that you guys may experience this month. So first card out, coming from August and into September is the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Then we have the Tower card, that's Scorpio energy, and that's followed by the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. So what this is looking like, Aquarius, it looks kind of like two things that hit you guys at once. I feel leaving out of August and coming into September, you guys were kind of in a space where there was a lack of fulfillment or happiness for where you guys are presently in life. It's kind of like, not necessarily like you fought to get to a specific place and it was unfulfilling. It's just kind of things feeling kind of meh. You know, things aren't necessarily bad. They're not necessarily not what you want, but it's just unfulfilling. It's like it's kind of lackluster. With this Tower card, it feels like you guys got some information that came in, and this kind of feel like how I'm seeing the energy is so weird. It's like I'm seeing it kind of overlapping. So since we're coming out of August, I would have to say this would have to be between the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of September. So it's something within that week span where you already weren't really feeling too hot about stuff. And then it's like something happened, like information you guys got in those last few days of August, first few days of September, that kind of added insult to injury. With this Four of Pentacles in the reverse, this is, it speaks to me really of like money. So it's kind of like, okay, if I were to put this in scenario form, this would be like, say you plan to go on a trip, right? Like months in advance. And this trip that you went on was in the last part of August. But things kind of shifted, and this feels like it's gonna get so specific, but things kind of shifted where either you had already paid for the trip and you really didn't want to go, you know, and you forced yourself to go anyway, or you thought that you'd be like, you know, in a celebratory kind of mood when you initially booked this trip, but you went and, you know, just kind of the vibe you were in when you went, you just really weren't for it. You know what I'm saying? So you ended up spending money on the trip. And then when you get back from the trip, there's some unexpected expense that ends up happening type of deal. And this is cray, dude, but, I'm thinking like literally, I'm thinking like, I don't know if it was like the Ida stuff that may have affected you, because Ida literally did hit on Hurricane Katrina's anniversary, which was the 29th of August. I'm just saying. But so I don't know if it's something like if you guys did something fun or went on vacation or whatever, but you just weren't really too hot about it, and it's like this unexpected thing, it ends up legit being a hurricane. I don't know, it might be, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. But whatever the case, it's like some unexpected expense ends up coming in, and you had already spent, you know, like money already. It's like you spent money on something that wasn't really worth it, and now a real expense happens, and now like coming in fully into September with the Four of Pentacles, it's like you trying to figure out how you're going to rub two pennies together to make something happen. Now, Aquarius, you guys are falling into the same vibe that I've seen for just about every single sign. that I've done up to this point, because it's almost like somewhere between the midpoint of September, or like, you know, the second or third week in September. It's like something happens that ends up being this trigger. And this, I've seen this for literally everybody. It's something that happens that's like a trigger that ends up provoking some type of past thing, you know, because the next card you guys have is this 10 of cups. So this is so interesting how I'm feeling this. So if I were to put this in scenario form again, and this is so weird, the feeling I'm feeling inside of me is almost like I'm spilling tea or something like that. Like, cause I feel like I'm saying something I don't have no business saying for some reason. I don't know why I feel that, but that's just like the energy I'm picking up on. But it's almost like if I were to say this is like a divorced woman, right? Or like a single mom or something like that. And it's like, and this is going to be very lofty minded, not saying that this is literally what's happening, but just to kind of give you a scenario that picks up on the energy I'm picking up on. So this is like, say this is a woman who was married, you have a kid or you don't, and you were financially stable, but you weren't really happy in your marriage. So you decide to, like, you know, leave the person, right? And you're doing your whole independent woman thing. And then it's like you find it being very unfulfilling. It wasn't as fun as you thought it was going to be. And then with like this shocking thing that ends up happening, and, you know, trying to figure out how you're going to pay for something, it's like your mind goes back to when you were in this relationship or you were married and you didn't have these particular problems. Because typically when you found yourself in a situation where you didn't have resources or you didn't have the money, you could just ask this particular person that isn't there anymore. So not saying this is the exact scenario that's happening, but this is legit like what the energy feels like. So it's like this trigger point of what you guys feel you're lacking in, whether it's financially or resource wise, or you don't have the ability to handle whatever this is with this shocking thing that happened. It's going back to a time in your life when you did. And I feel that that's kind of like like the trip up that everyone is experiencing mid-month. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I have to say, like, don't fall for the okie doke, because the only thing that you're supposed to experience from whatever this trigger is acknowledging whatever emotions are tied to this, and not it being something that's saying, oh, you made a mistake and you need to go back to that. And that's kind of what it is that I saw. Oh, look at that. That's what it is that I saw for Scorpio. Like if I were to take Scorpios and use them as an example, in their reading, when this trigger point happened, it's like they felt the inclination, like I need to take a step back and kind of get clear on some things. And while they're kind of like sorting through stuff, trying to figure out what the next step is, this trigger happens that takes them back to a past place and they get stuck there, right? And now it's just this whole thing of like, oh man, like maybe I made a mistake back there. Maybe I shouldn't have did that, like whatever, you know? And it's them coming out of that. But with my Aquarius people, I feel when this trigger happens for you guys, you go back to a time where you felt happy, or you had, you know, a partner that was another income or something like that. But that's not the reason why this is coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you made the right decision in moving forward from this. So of course, I'm gonna tell you guys, like with Scorpio, like don't get trapped there, because that's not the purpose of why this is coming up. It's almost resurrecting a desire that you guys have come out of alignment with, which kind of puts you guys, if I were to put Sagittarius and Scorpio on a Likert scale, you know, it's like Aquarius would be in between those two energies, you know, because Scorpio's stuck in the past thinking that they screwed themselves over. This thing is gone. They can't do anything about it. And for Sagittarius people, for them, it's them forgetting a part of themselves, that they are going back to retrieve a part of themselves that they had forgotten, because it's more or less with them going all the way to the other side of the Likert scale of cutting ties completely from the past and existing as the person that they created in response to a past event. And I feel with Aquarius, this is more or less something you guys did past tense. It's like whatever this is you guys walked away from to chart your own path. It's like that's very much what you were supposed to do. So you guys are on the right path. But it's like, I don't know, the term for this would be called soul retrieval. And that's literally the theme for everyone's reading. It's like there's this, or if you want to call it the inner child, it's like there's a part of oneself or the authentic self, whatever term you want to use for it. There's a part of yourself in your journey that you've distanced yourself away from, but collectively it's a misconception that in order to be a new person, that we had to cut off this old version of the self. But the reason why we end up going in circles or achieving things and feeling unfulfilled is because we were never supposed to cut that other part of ourselves off permanently. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I look at it, how I put it in narrative form is if you were to look at it as like the inner child, and the inner child is the one that has the key that unlocks the door to all of our futures. Then the person that we elect to be, being byproducts of our trauma experiences, our conditioning, whatever, yes, you are that person. You can get woke and evolve into a totally different person. But it's always like hitting a glass ceiling and not understanding why, or constantly repeating cycles and not understanding why. It's like, why can't I get out of this rut? No matter how it is, you know, I achieve things in an external sense. Inside of me, I still feel completely unfulfilled. What is that? It's because we're kind of recycling around in this same level. And to get to the next level, you have to open the door and go into the next level. But the door won't open because the inner child has the key. So there's a need to go through the process of soul retrieval. So you have like your shadow work, which is vastly different than soul retrieval, because shadow work is like integrating those parts of ourselves that are in the subconscious and, you know, in our periphery vision. But soul retrieval is going back to get that inner child and understanding that that part of you is very much a part of who you are and going through a process of integration. So that way the two of you can go to the door, the child can unlock it, and you can go forward together. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sticky kind of road you guys find yourselves in the midpoint of this month. And the important thing to not do is you don't want to get stuck there, right? You don't want to, like Scorpio, you don't want to do what Sag's challenge was, which was, you know, cutting ties with it all together and just trying to like kind of skirt past it. You know what I'm saying? It's acknowledging whatever this desire was, because I feel with whatever this past experience that you guys left, it wasn't all bad, right? Like there was a part of it, and this still even goes back to what I picked up in Capricorn too, of like this whole holding these two polarities simultaneously within oneself. It's like you may not, and this is just another example, in the past, like say if you were married, you didn't like being married to that person, like the marriage to that person sucked, but marriage in totality doesn't suck. It's just the marriage that person did, right? Or, you know, all customer service jobs don't suck. It's just that particular place that you worked that was a customer service job sucked. You know what I'm saying? And it's more or less the challenge this month is this trigger is trying to bring up that past experience for you to see that, because it's almost, you guys diagnosed this situation in a very all or nothing kind of way. It's like, you know, all men are bad, all women are bad, all customer service jobs are bad, all money is bad, all religion is bad. You know what I'm saying? All whatever is bad, but it's not that it's all bad. It's just one particular instance. And that's like the form of the soul retrieval, if you would call it that, that you guys are doing, right? Because like I said, with the other cards, I don't even think I said that. I think I just started talking about them. The next cards that came out is the 8 of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the 6 of Wands, right? This 8 of Cups speaks to like that cyclical nature that I was telling you guys about, because it's always going on this journey. It's feeling like, oh, I've graduated past this. This is the end of that cycle. Like, I know this particular path is not for me. The emotion thing is not for me. The customer service is not for me. The marriage thing, whatever it is, it's not for you, right? You're triggered to get brought back to that, not to say to go back to that specific situation, right? But it's to retrieve that part of you that's axed off all of, whatever the situation is for you guys specifically. And that's the reason why you guys have felt like you've been continuously going in circles. Because I feel, even though this tower is this month, I feel that this is something that you guys have gone through on a regular basis. And it almost feels like an attraction type of thing to me, where it's almost like the second you guys start to feel unfulfilled in life, it's almost like that vibe of like, meh, always comes with like a shock. But I feel that this shock it's trying to bring you back to yourself, but it's always kind of misconstruing when that happens, which causes the cycle to repeat itself, right? So why all of this is happening, my wonderful friends, is where this Ace of Cups and the Six of Wands comes in. And this is the same vibe I'm feeling for everyone. I feel like, I don't want to say that September is like a throwaway month, but I said it's kind of like a decontamination month in so many words. It's like nothing is really popping off in September. It's just everyone is kind of having this, Judas in the mirror moment in the month of September. You know what I'm saying? So the whole premise of this month is a level of self-honesty, because coming out of September and going into October, there is victory. There is an opportunity that's offered that's very much in alignment with you guys. So if we were to start with first and last card with this Nine of Cups in the reverse, which would take you back, of course, to this cyclical nature of this Eight of Cups. It's something that it's something that you need to walk away from, but you've walked away from it, but you didn't walk away in the proper way, if that makes sense. So this month is all about getting you guys to walk away the right way, with not just, cutting ties and leaving things behind, if you will. It's leaving with the nugget of truth you were supposed to leave with. I really hope that that's making sense and that's not too redundant for y'all Aquarius. But whatever the case, this Ace of Cups that you guys are getting coming into the month of October, this new opportunity, an emotionally fulfilling one, is more or less what's going to be the healing cell for this unfulfillment that you guys felt. So here's the deal. The fulfillment doesn't really come in this thing that's being offered to you. It's really you finding this is so weird. This is almost like a transference. It's like the fulfillment that you guys felt was lacking coming into this month. It's like you're finding it in yourself this month. And what comes in October is just a reflection of the fulfillment that you guys already have within yourself, if that's making sense. So just like how I said, how this feeling of unfulfillment seems to always attract towers, it's like the moment that you feel me, it's like this shocking thing seems to happen. And it's almost like they're drawing each other. It's like you guys, retrieving whatever this is from this all or nothing thinking, right? Of like, all customer service isn't bad, just my customer service job was bad. Having that epiphany is what gets you guys to this place of fulfillment, of meaning, oh, wow, I can go work in customer service again, because I really did enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? And coming to that place is now what draws in this opportunity, like someone saying, hey, you're looking for a job? Here's a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this unfulfillment drew in chaos and shock, right? The fulfillment draws in fulfillment. And then with the Six of Wands, you have the victory. So it's like you've overcome this epic lesson that you guys have been repeating over and over and over again for whoever knows how long. I hope and pray that that makes sense, Aquarius. But that's been your soul session. Y'all let me know if it makes sense in the comments. I'm going over to my network, Vimeo, Patreon, YouTube members, everywhere that I'm at outside of YouTube, to do you guys extended. And I've been telling everyone I'm doing them different this month. I don't know, Virgo just made me want to do it different. And I've been doing it different ever since Virgo's reading, where as opposed to just playing out the cards and looking at it generally. We're going week by week to give you guys some info, resources, and tools and things of the sort by each week of September. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. If not, I still love your freaking face, Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see you guys sooner than later. Yeah, evacuation edition.